friend. So I am ready to go. Let's get started in 3, 2, 1, go. Why don't you go for the intro this time?
Alright, so we have our blue Terran player here. It's going to be Torch from STartale, the foreigner of the team. He's spawning here at the 11 o'clock position on Test Bug, and his opponent and teammate from STartale is going to be August, spawning as the red Terran user here at 3 o'clock. And this is the first time so far in our best of threes that we've seen a player spawn here at the 12 or at the 11 o'clock position. Excuse me.
Yeah, we've had a bunch of games where it was over at the right versus the bottom left, but now we do see somebody over here in sort of the more foresty setting. I don't remember what this is. I think it's Belshir is the technical name.
Well,
just a jungle
no one's
area.
gonna fault you for not remembering that.
Yeah, it's the jungle area type of thing. We've got jungle, forest, platform, and then just sort of the Protoss homeworld. If you're wondering why the map maker didn't go for an even 5, actually an odd 5, it's because the map editor would not actually let him. But it's a very interesting map aesthetically. As you can see, it's raining over here, and there's lava on the other side of the map. But as well, there's really interesting usages of rocks on this map. This is the first time that I saw anybody who discovered that they can actually edit destructible rocks. As you can see, these ones in the center have 1500 health and the 3 armor. The ones on the gold mineral patches here in the center have the traditional 2000 health, 3 armor. But you can also edit the armor as well, so you can leave them at 2000 health and drop them down to 1, so Zerglings can pick away at them faster. And it's an interesting solution, especially seeing how Blizzard seems to think that the answer to everything is putting destructible rocks in the way.
Now, Torch, again, did go for that gas first, as his racks is about 60% complete, and the racks of August is almost finished here. His gas is about halfway complete. But looks like August is going to scout his opponent first, and Torch is going to the wrong base. This is a 3-player map. There's one more base to scout out. So a little bit of luck in August's favor here. But I'm going to be... I really want to see what Torch is going to do, because last game we saw him kind of hesitate onto what he wanted to do with his build. And this game, hopefully he's maybe a little bit more refined. He's got a little bit of a game plan. He's not going to switch it up so much on the fly.
Yeah, it seemed like he had a good idea of what he wanted to do, and then he just completely changed his mind. And that's really tough to do with these early opening builds. The first couple minutes, you kind of have an idea of what you want to do, and trying to change it on the fly is actually really, really difficult. Not only because it'll mess with your timings, but you've done these builds so many times when your players, like on the level of these guys on STartale, that you get that muscle memory, and actually forcing yourself to do something different is very difficult. But we see a very quick expansion here from August has been kind of a theme on this map. Players playing a little bit more greedy because the rush distance is so long. Once again, Torch is floating over onto the Tech Lab this time, so we might see the pre-igniter from him as planned. There it goes. That is more of what you expect when you see that really early refinery here in Terran versus Terran. Is this sort of really early Hellion play?
Yeah, so a good old 1-Rax expand. We do see him getting stem and getting a Marauder out from that Rax with the Tech Lab. Second gas being added on for Torch as the SCVs are going over there and quickly filling that up. Now, we don't see a starport just yet, but Blue Flame is in full effect, like you just said. And, you know, if Torch doesn't do anything here soon, like harass, it's going to be really hard for him to come back if this expansion gets up from August. But one of the best ways to come back if your opponent gets a little bit ahead as a Terran player is just to constantly drop and harass him as much as you can to make sure that he spreads his forces out and really can't get ready for a big attack.
Yeah, this is working a little bit into Torch's favor. As you can see, the very standard way of transitioning out of this 1-Rax expansion is to make more barracks. So it means there's going to be a lot of Marines out here in the beginning of the game. There are a couple Marauders, but if he gets a good number of pre-igniter Hellions, he can melt the vast majority of August's forces and then go straight for the mineral lines. So Torch is gearing up for a pretty nice early game. He does have these 3 Hellions. I feel like they should be doing something right now, though. He has a medevac on the way, but if he waits for that medevac, it's going to be so late that I think his timing window of getting in here and doing damage, especially since these Hellions do have a long way to go, might be past. But he is actually pulling these Hellions over to the starport. He is going to wait for this medevac, and this could be a really crucial mistake from Torch, as the longer he waits, the more and more units that are going to be out on the field here for August.
So there he goes. Medevac pops out. Hellions instantaneously loading in, and he's going to go do some drops here. If we look at the army composition of August right now, he has 4 Marauders, handful of Marines. Does he have the slow yet? No, he does not have concussive shell. He has started getting the combat shell. As 2 of his racks have that reactor on it, and here comes the Medevac. It's getting ready for a drop. If he can kill a lot of SCVs here, he will be. Oh.
Look, August just pulled all of his units back up. He has sniffed this out. He has an idea of it's coming because he did see that sort of really early refinery. He gets the idea that there was Hellions on the way and they hadn't attacked the front. So great job by August completely predicting that the drop was on the way, pulling back his forces and completely stopping it. That delay of waiting for that medevac just didn't work out here for Torch.
Yeah, it makes me really wonder. I mean, I looked as soon as you said that to see if he had scanned the factory or scanned the starport, and he had not.
Nope.
So I'm wondering if this is just maybe Torch and him practice so much that he kind of knows that this is what Torch sometimes does in TVT, as they are teammates. But that was a very odd time to just move all of your units back into your base, unless he knows the timing that well, which would actually be incredible.
That's what I'm thinking, because if you think about it, he saw the refinery first with his SCV. He scouted out what is normally a Hellion build from Torch, and then no Hellions arrived. And it got really late, and really the only explanation of no Hellions coming for that long, when you see the Hellion opening from your opponent, is that he's about to drop them. So I think he just had really good game sense, realized that something's wrong here, and just pulled back his units, and it paid off really well.
And now we see Torch getting ready to secure his expansion up. He knows he's a little bit behind. We do have a couple of medevacs out. Probably going to be seeing some drops here very soon, unless Torch really just wants to go for one big attack. But I'm not sure if that's the best method, as Torch is currently supply capped. Does he have... Ooh, he's going to be supply capped for a little bit, as that depot is only about halfway finished. And that is a huge force from August. He might actually be thinking about moving out here in a couple seconds.
Yeah, that is way more units than I actually thought he had on the field, because they were split up in a couple different places. But he has completely consolidated them. He seems to get the idea that Torch is on the way to attack him soon, which makes sense given the fact that he got that expansion up really early and didn't take any damage. Very common response would be for another Terran to realize, oh crap, I'm behind, and just go for an attack at this point in the game. So you can see he's just sort of hanging out here in a defensive position at the top of his ramp, waiting to see if Torch is coming for him. And if not, he does have these this small force moving out into the center of the map. He's actually going after the destructible rocks on the gold, looking to get farther and farther ahead. I thought he was going to be looking for another hidden expansion because of the last game, but he's actually looking to get farther ahead in the macro game. But still don't see really any tanks from him, which is an interesting decision, as usually a player would be transitioning into siege tanks right about now in Terran versus Terran.
So, I mean, I'm really wondering what Torch is going to do to put himself back in this game. He's currently at 85 supply compared to the 119, almost 120 of August. August should be securing that gold base here very soon as the command center is about 60% complete in the main. He's continuing to get a ton of bioforces. He's actually thinking about moving out right now. Let's pop on the production tab. Both players are getting the infantry weapons level 1. And Torch does not even have stim just yet. And here's a big engagement.
Yeah, they are going to clash in the center, and Torch isn't sieged. So he's going to take a ton of damage. The Marines and Marauders completely plowing through his army because he wasn't able to siege fast enough. That's what it comes down to in that situation. Neither player had that watchtower. If he'd been able to secure that watchtower, seen August coming, he would have been able to get those siege tanks up in position, but August completely rolling him over with a lot of Marines and Marauders. Now Torch is in quite a lot of trouble as he has no units on the field at all, and August still has a lot of Marines and Marauders here.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta say that fight there in the middle was more interesting to me to watch the tree burn down than to see Torch get demolished, because there was really no hope for him as soon as August moved in with his bio units. Great control here from August as well, taking out a ton of SCVs, falling back, and then he's going to pretty much roll over here with these few remaining Marauders, or he might, well, okay, Torch is going to hold on here, But if you go back and look over in August base, he has a ton of medevacs and also a ton of Marines and Marauders, as well as that third base on the high yield. So really not sure if Torch can come back and win this. And now I'm definitely not sure is August is going to move out onto the map and pretty much just roll over the small force that Torch does have.
Yeah, this is just not close at all at this point. August did a really good job of getting ahead with that expansion, deflecting any early pressure. Really good game sense to catch that drop as it was coming in. And once that happened, Torch was just really far behind. Didn't manage to get back into this game, and this is going to be pretty much it for Torch. Our foreigner hero in this tournament is going to get knocked out 2-0 like everybody else, including Squirtle, surprisingly enough. There was a lot of hype around him after the GSTL. We see a little bit of stutter step micro going on from August here. There's the GG from Torch. August will advance into the next round of the tournament and would be moving on to probably the match that a lot of people really wanted to see. July Zerg, the God of War, against Virus.
Yeah, so we are going to be bringing that to you here in just a couple of seconds as soon as Relcon can get everything situated on his side of things. And if you are just joining us, this is the IMS Invitational number 1, the IC Cup, Invitational number 1. And we've got STartale. This is the round of 8. Earlier we saw Bomber against Curious. Bomber took that pretty